everyone. This lesson is for grade 2. We are going to study about perspective today. Remember, last week that, we actually, worked on the proportion in creating a snowman, right? So this time actually is going to be very useful and very valuable in terms of understanding of, visual art, and you may actually need to create later in the future if you're going to take the art classes. Okay, so perspective. Okay, uh, perspective is very interesting in sort of a subject matters when you create such a visual art. Okay, think about the horizon line, one line. Okay, when the lines as you see it, okay, maybe in the background, that line actually meets the sky, right? So the almost like the land actually meets the sky lines. That's the horizon line. Okay, so you probably actually see maybe outside in a highway, maybe if you go out and check out the nature, you probably see a light then. Okay, let's take a picture. I'm gonna show you several pictures for you in order to actually understand and what sort of perspective means. Okay, this one actually linked with all landscape. Okay, because a landscape is what, it's a natural scenes in a picture, right? So please take a look at the this picture. Okay, as you see this one, okay, you probably see the one that one that has very close to you, which is gonna be the big tree, right? The tree trunk and all the big branch stretching out then. Okay, so that's gonna be a very close to you, right? It's here, right? Then you probably see also some of a little bit of small trees and shrubs, right? That's gonna be located in where, almost like behind this big tree, right? So it's kind of let's say a middle ground, right? And let's say this one is very nearest to you, right? Very close to you, and it's a foreground and a middle ground, right? And take a look at the color compared to one you see on in a picture of the trees. Okay, obviously you see much darker and clean and detailed colors compared what you see on the back then, right? Yes, so the color is going to be much lighter and hazy. Okay, then when you see all the way far here, okay, you probably see a lot of actually color, but then it's not clear yet. It's almost like what? It's the this land, maybe the top of a mountain actually meets the sky, right? So you probably actually see the mountain. It's not kind of a green tone. It's more close to the sky, right? So maybe the tones of sky color is gonna be located here then, right? So this is basically a landscape. It's actually based on the perspective, which is an area and atmospheric perspective. Okay, I'm sorry, atmospheric. Okay, which is foreground and a middle ground and a background. Okay, so this is one example in terms of perspective and landscape. But it's maybe a summer or either in a spring, right? Yes. Take a look at this one too. Okay, as you see this picture, this is one of our great basins in Nevada. Okay, it's almost like the place where it's really a grand, huge area. But as you see, the one actually the object that you actually close to you here, it's very detailed and very big and huge, right? In terms of object wise, but when it goes down here, behind this, right? It's becoming hazy, and it's almost like I can't even visualize what color, what type of colors I need to actually start putting on or either mixing onto, right? So that's actually a mid ground, something that is a bit farther, near, and then take a look at this one, way back down here, right? It's a mountain, obviously, but it's very close to the colors on in the sky. In the sky, right? Yeah. This is what we call landscape and using perspective. Okay? Foreground, midground, and then background. Okay? So you need to understand when you look at this view, okay? All right? Try to identify the one that is actually in a closer objects, right? It's very darker and very detailed and big, right? And then it goes down to a lower on the paper, right? And then actually, sorry, going at a far, right? And when you see it, take a look at the distant objects, right? And much lighter, and then becomes very hazy and much lighter. Okay, it actually tours to the end of paper, then in the background, then it actually becomes a very lighter, right? So this is a type of perspective that we are trying to understand, okay, in a landscape. All right. So take a look at this one too. Okay, I actually posted in here and then near and then far here. Okay, this is one of actually picture in actually located in a Grand Canyon. Okay, in Arizona. So even you actually look at this view from this picture, the reference. Okay, look at this action of big rocks and almost like a cliffs, right? It's very detailed and a very strong and rich darker tones of colors, right? But when it comes down here, right, almost like in a mid-ground, right, it becomes a very hazy, right, which is very different from this color. And it's very light, right? And a little, less detail. Look at this very detailed colors in here, rather than this one, right? Yes. And then please, take a look at it all the way far. Okay, this is another, rock mountain, but it's very hazy, and it's almost, different colors as you see from here too, right? Yes. So this is what you need to understand in terms of a landscape, but using a perspective method, foreground and midground and background. If you don't remember, try to remember here, near, far. Here, near, far. Here, near, far. Okay? So 3 action spaces that you need to understand in terms of a landscape. Okay? So this is a very good example as you see it. Okay? This picture then in terms of understanding it. Okay, so I hope you understand, and then we need to actually start working on the winter landscape. Okay, so we haven't actually done anything that comes with a spring project, but it's gonna be soon, starting after maybe this week then. Following week. All right, so this is actually the end of a week of February that I need to focus on all winter themed projects. So first, we did winter trees using a very unconventional material, right? And the second one, we try to focus on using a proportion method in creating a snowman, right? And third one, we are going to create a winter landscape using little bit like atmospheric perspective methods. Okay, so you are going to watch me how you are going to create. First, materials. Okay, you need to grab a pencil, and this time you need to have a marker. Try to have a bit little thick marker. You see the tips in here. Try to get a thick marker if you can. And we're gonna have some oil pastel if you can. All right. And Crayola. This is just wax crayons. Okay. Often cases people think that, oh, oil pastel and a wax crayon are the same, right? But obviously the ingredient, the material wise, is quite different substance. Okay. But I don't mind if you have oil pastel or a Crayola, crayons, a regular crayons then. And you may need a paint. Okay, I don't want you to have more multiple colors of a paints. Just blue color, I think it is good enough. Okay, if you don't have, try to have, okay, either crayons or either blue crayons, and I'm sorry, blue crayons or blue oil pastel. If you have it, that's good enough. Okay, and the most important thing is you need to have a paper. Okay, when you have a paper, make sure that I don't want you use the vertical direction. No. Okay, I'm gonna use this horizontal directions. Remember the snowman, you keep this direction, right? But this time you need to keep this horizontal direction, because why? We need to create the landscape. Often cases the landscape actually using this directions of the paper then. Okay, so that's what you should remember. Okay, so now, and then once you actually start ready, I want you to fold it in. Okay, half. Okay, this direction, and I fold it in another half direction. So basically you have a rectangle. Let's say a rectangle. Okay, and then you need to actually start open up. So basically you have four sides of sections in the entire page, right? So this is how you are going to actually start working on. Okay, so now I need to actually start putting on here. Make sure that you have to put your papers in straight. Okay, and if you have a tapes, you can tape it on top and bottom. Okay, so first, we actually did the great lines by folding in half, right? Both in horizontal and vertical directions. Now we need to start draw the bottom. Okay, remember the picture that I show you? We need to start from the bottom here and then midground and background, right? So in order to do this one, I'm gonna grab the pencil. Okay, try to have the draw the snowbanks, because we are going to create some sort of a winter theme project, right? So I need to draw a little bit kind of